stop lost in my soul. God in my trades, that's how I roll. Faith in the forex, blessings unfold, making his glory known in these markets untold.
What's up YouTube? How's it going? Trader Vaughn here with another video, and like I said in my last video, I wanted to start doing some recaps. So I wanted to start doing on a daily, but I realized with all my work and everything, I'm gonna have to just do it weekly for right now. Only like special occasions, like stuff out of the ordinary come up in the charts, I'll do a daily recap. But for right now, we'll just go by the week. I will buy membership so y'all can see kind of like the candles print close to real time. But for right now, we're just gonna go off my analysis and what I did for the charts for each day. But all right, let's get to the charts. All right, for Monday, March 13th. I'm sorry, not March 13th. March 7th, 2025. This is how my Monday went to start off the week. When I came to the charts, usually I get to the charts by the time I get to work, and it's usually about 6:30, close to 7, yeah, about 6:30. So when I wake up in the morning, get ready for work and everything, I come to see and I see the charts is breaking structure to the top side, and also after it opened down, it filled it up right, in the middle of the night. I think this is London session. But I see some some retracement going on here, and I'm like, okay, maybe we want to keep retracing to the top side. And as you can see, there's gaps up here on the 1 hour, on all like 15, 1 hour, 4 hour, there's some gaps up here. So I didn't think it was gonna happen on a Monday, so I'm just looking for any buys to the top side, any break of structure that'll get me somewhere. And so when I get to work and I got everything settled, I pull up my trading view and I start putting on my charts. And right here, as you can see, it is a triple bottom. You don't really see those often, at least for me. For as long as I trade, you don't really see those often. So literally the night before, on Sunday night, it made a triple bottom and exploded to the top side. So immediately I put in a 4 hour 15-minute demand, and it says double bottom because I wasn't counting this one because how it opened up like that, but just these two. It created a double bottom and also stacking liquidity up here. So really this was a good enough for a buy. So once it shot up so quickly. Really about my bad, guys. I didn't even know. I was not in the time zone for me to kind of calculate where everything was. So yeah, about 7:30, 8 o'clock, that's when news came out, and it just shot up. And so after seeing it breaking to the top side, breaking so many structures to the top side, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can get a buy somewhere. So at first I had this lined up, this support now resistance area lined up, and I was waiting for it to come back to this area. Obviously, just because it hit this area doesn't mean you should immediately get in. You should wait to see some type of reaction from that zone, and as you can see here, it completely bypassed the zone. So I'm like, okay, so this was kind of like my primary spot to look at. This is my secondary spot. I was really waiting for it to come back to here, and as you can tell, it did. But like I said, this was a 4 hour 15-minute demand plus a double bottom down here, so it was just giving me a valid indication for a buy, not all the way back to the top side, but at least a good valid buy where I can make a good amount of pips from it. But as you can see right here, it hit the 4 hour. It did not go close enough, so I didn't think that was a valid buy. You could have taken this if you want to trade off the 5-minute to 4 hour, right? Because that was a good at least 500 points. But I was not looking for that. I I mainly trade off the 15 minute, so I wanted it to hit the 15 minute before I get in. And as you can tell right here, 10 o'clock, it hit my 15 minute. It hit my 15-minute zone, and right when it broke candle, because right here I didn't get on this candle because this wasn't really a good indication for me. Plus, I know we're still trying to, in my head, there's some daily some demands down here that need to be hit. But I did not get it on this candle because I was skeptical at first, because I'm like, usually, since this was a liquidity grab, because literally at 8:15, 8:30, it just dropped with no indication, at least for me, no indication for the drop. And so when it shot back up like that, I'm like, okay, this could be a liquidity grab to the downside. So when it shot up this far though, I'm thinking this could be a liquidity grab to both sides. Because there's a whole bunch of liquidity back here that still needs to be taken out, and it took a clean cut of that from that drop from Sunday night. So once it came down here, I wanted to see more of an indication for me to get in. And so I waited. I didn't get up here. I didn't get down here. I waited. I wait to see what it was going to do once it hit this zone again. And once I saw it kind of just stay here, it didn't break this structure, and kind of just, with this 1 5-minute candle start slowing down, I was waiting to see a clean push back up to the upside. And with this candle, this was that candle I was looking for. No rejection, no wicks outs. It was a clean, good 200 point from my zone to the upside. So I got in on the break of the candle on the 5-minute, and I had gotten, my TP was originally hitting this zone, but I had gotten out somewhere in this area because I saw it slowing down again, just like how it did down here. So yeah, I got out right around there, and for that day it was probably around it was about like $1,200-$1,300. I could have way more on this trade, but since I wasn't really too confident in it going all the way up to my TP, I just lowered my risk. And so yeah, I made like $1,200 for the day, and I will do a screenshot of my not trading view, my trade locker KOT once I'm finished doing my analysis for each individual day. But like I said, this is the only trade I took on Monday. It was about 25 minutes, so I wasn't really too pressured on taking another trade. I just want like my quick scalps, and I'm out for the day. I'm not trying to let the market take back any more money from me than it already has. So I just didn't want to do anything else for that. But now moving on to Tuesday. All right, here's Tuesday. Tuesday, it was April 8th, 2025. Moving up on the charts, as you can tell from last night, Monday night, it was just shooting up, continuously shooting up overnight. And so when I woke up the next day, I'm like, okay, we could potentially still be looking for buys. Because at first, you can see the space right here. We have gaps to the downside, and obviously, since we've been dropping for a minute, we have gaps to the upside. So I had first had a support, now resistance area drawn up right here in this area, and also 15 5-minute demand in this area here, because I'm like, it, where it was, it could come back down to slap this to shoot up. But as you can tell, it did not want to leave this area. And here you can see it hit my 15-minute. It hit my 15-minute demand, because literally at 8 o'clock, 8:30 market open, it shot up. So that had made this a valid demand block, and it stayed up there. It didn't wick out, so this is, not a liquidity grab or anything like that. It didn't wick out. So this was a valid buy, and plus, it was holding minor support right here. Every time it bounced to this area, it never got below it. So I went to the 5 minute, and I see it coming back down slowly back to this 15-minute support structure. It was about right here. I need to move this over. It was right here where I was also not confident in this trade, meaning, like I said, there's gaps to the top side and to the bottom side. Yes, it's breaking structure, but with it shooting so much, especially overnight, it could just easily, you know, around 8:30 or a little bit past 8:30, it can just literally slap. Since we're in a bearish market right now, it could just literally slap and take me out. So what had happened was, plus it was wicking this day, and knowing how not confident I was, I should have lowered my risk size to just, you know, risk less, but, you know, still, because this was still a valid buy. But I didn't risk less, and I had got it in once it had broken my structure up here. So let me adjust this. It was up here. I had gotten in. As you can tell, it kept wicking down, and right where this last wick is on this previous candle, next candle, it stopped me out. And so it was still, you know, it was still a valid buy. I just got in a little bit too late, and I really should have lowered my risk size. So this was, you know, a learning experience for me. Even though the trade went in my direction, I got a little bit in too late, and it should have been in more closer, at least in my opinion, down here in my zones. But like I said, it was still a good trade. It was just poor risk management on my part. And for that day, I end up losing about $1,500, $2,000 that day. And yeah, after this, because I'm always happy that it goes in my way. It does, you know, what I'm expecting it to do. But, you know, it's just back to the drawing board for me, you know, trying to learn more on my journey, and, you know, with these trades I'm trying to do. But that was it for Tuesday. So now we're going to move on to Wednesday. And here we are, Wednesday. Wednesday was a good day. I would say Wednesday was a good day for me. Wednesday, this was April 9th, 2025. As you can tell by the bubble, it came back to the same area again. After dropping Tuesday night, it came back to the same area again. So I didn't erase my zones. I don't erase my zones until it completely gets rid of them. So literally came back, dropped all the way down to my 4-hour, 15-minute, you know, what would you call this now? Quadruple bottom. Or if you want to just stay with this, you know, recent structure, just a double bottom. It came back to this area and literally did the same thing it did Monday. Literally, it was just a little bit different. It did the same thing it did Monday. And so I had got in for a buy once I saw the rejection. And what I mean for how I noticed rejection is, you can count this box right here, or if you didn't even have this box, you could have just wrote up a new one or drew up a new one. And you see it tapped right here and rejected off that zone. So literally right when it rejected off of the zone, this doji was a good indication for me, but I wanted to get some clean break to the top side. So I waited for that one. It made a doji, and then I didn't want to get on the next one because when it broke to the bottom side, it immediately shot up to the top side. And usually when it does that, it means it's trying to break, it's trying to change structure, in my opinion. But I didn't want to get in yet. I wanted to wait for this candle to finish printing. Plus, around this time, Wednesday, there was also a little bit of news. So I did not want to get in around time of news, and I just waited a little bit longer for it to kind of see what it wants to do. Once it printed this next candle and it didn't break structure to the bottom side and broke, not broke, but slowly it finished more to the top side, it was giving me a clear, not clear indication, but it was giving me kind of like an almost a clear sign that this could potentially go up and take out either this area right here, which is a 15-minute supply, or this liquidity up here. And this next candle, once this next candle printed, I got in for a buy and rolled that up. About, it was like 30 minutes, 15-30 minutes, and I was out. And it wasn't even that difficult really to hold my trades, because sometimes for me it's difficult to hold trades when it starts wicking out too much, momentum's pushing one direction then falls back, and then you start to get kind of like a change of analysis. You get spooked a little bit. But for me, at least for Wednesday, it didn't do that. It kind of exploded. Yeah, right when it left the zone, it exploded upward, and I had gotten out right here in this 15-minute supply zone, and that was about like $1,300. So I was able to win back some money I lost yesterday, and I was like, that's all I want for today. I'm not too I'm not eager to continuously be making money, because I don't want to be too greedy. I want to take it one day at a time. I don't have a funded account. My account is purely based off me funding it myself. I had started with about like $1,500, and so I'm just slowly trying to build it. That's why I'm just trying to do scalps. Eventually, when my account's bigger, I will be holding more runners and stuff like that, and you'll be able to see that during my weekly recaps. But as you can see on Wednesday, I had gotten out right here, and I didn't really look at it that much anymore, but look what it did after that. And this was FOMC. Like, got out, really caught the bottom of the trade, got out, that's all I wanted, and it kept going. Like, I don't even, let me see, like that was like 3,000-4,000 points. And I'm not gonna say this happens often, but this is just once in a blue moon type of trades where you just let that go. Like, there was a lot of stuff going on Wednesday, and usually stuff like this don't happen on Wednesdays. Usually it just wicks out and just consolidates. So to me, that caught me off guard, and I was just really hoping a lot of people made some money on that day, because if you like to trade news, I'll say be careful when you trade news, but there was definitely a lot of money to be made on a Wednesday. And I think this was the day also that Trump did that policy on pausing tariffs, and it just spiked, man. It's crazy. But here, we'll move on to Thursday. Alright, and here we got Thursday, April 10th, 2025. And right here. So when I first looked at this that morning, I'm like, okay, since it's breaking so much structure to the top side, it could potentially still go up. So first, I really had a demand, this 15-minute demand right here. And technically, I believe this was a 1 hour too. Yep, this was a 1 hour 15-minute demand block right here. So in my head, I'm like, okay, this could hold and we can keep going up to the top side. But as this kept coming down, especially early in the morning, it did not get past this area right here at all. Like, it completely rejected. And once it got to early in the morning, 8 o'clock, 8:30, market open, yep, right here, I had put up this support, now resistance area, and also it had created a 15-minute supply to the downside. So right when on the 15-minute, you see it broke down. Once it broke this much structure, I looked at the 5-minute. I looked at the 5-minute and I waited for it to come and retest my 15-minute resistance area. I base my analysis off the 15 and the higher time frames, but if I want to actually get into a trade, I get into the trades on the 5 minute time frame because it just helps me kind of see on a smaller time frame where I would like to be. And sorry, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. But on Wednesday, I'm sorry, not Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday, once it hit my 15-minute supply resistance area, I got in aggressive, and my stop loss was really above this wick. I didn't really want anything past it. Yes, you could have held it through this whole zone, but I didn't think in my head it was gonna shoot all the way back up here after just breaking structure like that to the downside. Because as you can see, even though it shot up like that, it still needs to come back and fill some of this in. Like even on the 5 minute, this is too big. There's no structure down here. So I had gotten in at my entry point, and I wasn't looking too much. Like I said, I'm a scalper. So I just got in, well, I got out once it broke, it hit this bank level down here. Yeah, it hit this bank level down here. And plus it also had a 5 minute demand down here. So I got out down here, and it was, it wasn't that bad of a trade. It was like, again, 10 15 minutes, and I was done. And it's just funny to me sometimes too, like I'm almost able to, what it takes for me to earn at my job in 2 weeks, I can get in like 15-30 minutes, which is crazy to me sometimes. But practice makes perfect, bro. It just shows you, like, yes, people love instant gratification, but good things comes to those who wait, bro. And when you start working and building up something, you will definitely reap what you rewarded, bro. And it's amazing, because it's what I found difficult is it's harder to see your improvements mentally because you can't really see what's going on and how you're changing from them, and it's way easier to learn what you're doing physically or improve what you're doing physically. Mentally, like, that's what trading is. Mentally, it's just a mind game and a strategy. It's like chess, right? You're gonna be losing. You will lose a couple times, maybe a lot of times when you first get started, but as you become more familiar with everything and how stuff moves, what stuff means, then it will definitely help you achieve what you're trying to do, either like being right in the markets or even trying to make money from the markets. And the markets, it pulls the bad side of you out. Like if you have some toxic traits about you, it'll definitely pull that shit out. And it's like your own story in a sense. But moving on to Friday. I loved Friday, honestly. Textbook, I loved it. It was amazing. Friday was very quick for me because, again, it hit the same area, 15-minute, and this right here, resistance area. It never broke above. It just wicked out. It never broke above. Even my resistance block, it never broke above. And once I saw it that morning, Friday, April 11th, 2025, 7:30 came out. It hit my area, and technically this is it had created a new 15-minute demand right here because it broke a minor structure. So this was a new 15-minute demand, and 7:30 came out, and there was news. Once I saw news not break above these highs and start rejecting, I'm like, yeah, this is a double top 15-minute, and it's at least gonna come back down to this area because this down here was a 1 hour 15-minute demand. So yes, all in all, like where the trend was going, since we were breaking structure to the top side, I was looking for buys. But this was just telling me, like begging me, that we're gonna at least need to come back down and hit this area. And once after news finished, I let these two candles print to see what it wanted to do after news. It had wicked out, made a doji. This candle finished below, and then on that third candle, once it broke here, I got in for a sell. So let me move this because it wasn't even right here. Yep. And my stop loss was above this candle right here. If it came up, I was out. I was done. I don't want none of that. And this was before market open, so 7:45, and I rode that wave all the way to 8:10, right before market open at 8:30. And you can see all the wicks and stuff right here. And it was a quick trade. It was really 30 minutes on that Friday, and right before market open. After that, I was done at looking at the markets for the rest of the day, and I just went back to working on my duties at my job. And like, it was just so quick, because on that day I made $3,000 to finish off the week. And so all in all together, I almost made $5,000 through the whole week. And it was amazing for me. And I always am blessed and grateful for how I've gotten to this point, because I wouldn't have gotten here by myself, if I would tell you the truth. Like, having those close family members, friends, and then people helped me get to this point, just from learning from them. And it was just, like I said, it wasn't too bad. It was my first day officially making $3,000 in that day, and it was about my second week almost making $5,000 that week. But every time I make a good trade, or perform, I always got to make sure to not let it go to my head, because we still got to come back tomorrow, or the next week, or the next week after that, or the next day, yeah. And it just tells you, like, yes, you have your wins, but you can't let your ego get to you, because it can all just disappear like that. But that's it for me right now. I just wanted to show y'all my recap for this week, and hope y'all learned something from it. I know I did. I always do my recaps at the end of each day, to kind of see what I could have done better to make my trades more efficient. But like I said, I hope y'all learned some stuff. I'll see y'all on the next time.